All purpose begins with the realignment to personal truth. Often, when we really lose confidence, we've really lost sight of the future. Everything in life, if you're gonna be a high performer, you might take a step back and say, what's gonna trip me up about this?
Need motivation?
Watch the top 10 of Believe Nation, because I love it.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Brendon Burchard, and my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Connect with yourself.
So you want to feel more confident in life? Reconnect with yourself and others. With yourself, that's your morning routine. Lock in that morning routine. The more you feel connected to self, the more confident you are. But you need the time to connect to yourself, away from the email, the social media, the obligations for the kids, the family, the husbands, the spouses, the team, everything else. You need that moment where you're like out and connecting with yourself, with your thoughts. You need time to think and to feel again. So turn off the TV, go for the walk. Put down the phone, do the meditation. Get away from the social thing 10 minutes earlier so you can sit in the car and just think before you go home. You need more space to be thinking and connecting with self. Why is it everyone who ever had some type of, midlife crisis had to go away? They had to go away so they could connect with themselves. Why do you go to a spa? To change up your environment and lock in and feel your mind, your thought, your body once more. So build that in your life, self-connection.
Rule number 2, activate your potential.
You know why a lot of people don't feel any purpose? They are not activating their potential. Let me say it again. You know why a lot of people don't feel purpose? They are not activating their potential. See, the more you sense your potential is up here, but the more your daily life is performing down here, that dissonance, that divide, that distance between daily realities and activated potential is often called, not just dissonance, but misery. And the more you're miserable or in pain, the more you can be detached from purpose. It's not that purpose only happens in positivity and yay stuff, but listen, it's a whole lot easier to sense it and feel it and celebrate it when you know you are activating your potential. The truth is that a lot of people, because they don't recognize that they're not activating their potential, they don't feel that in their heart, they don't feel pride, and they don't feel purpose. There has to be a realignment and a reactivation of your potential, right? I really want you to think about that. On a day what I was talking about with Dave this morning is your daily actions are leading to a momentum. And that momentum each day is leading you towards a particular kind of destiny, a particular direction, a particular end game, a particular legacy, a particular style of life. So what is the momentum of your energies, of who you are being, how you are relating, and what you are creating each day leading towards?
Rule number 3, take care of yourself.
I want to make an impact.
Me too.
I want to help people. You know what the worst thing is when you're trying to help someone and your mind is kind of blinking out?
Yeah.
Because you didn't take care of yourself. You didn't eat good.
Yeah.
You didn't care about your sleep. I work with athletes, high performers, business people who they regret those moments and those days where they allowed themselves to burn out or they didn't care for themselves, because it shows up on the scoreboard. It shows up in your bank account, but mostly it shows up in how you treat people. I always tell people, if you won't take care of yourself for yourself, take care of yourself so you're less rude to other people.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When you're tired, science shows you're more irritable.
Rule number 4, integrate the wins.
You forget sometimes where you started. Sometimes you forget, all the obstacles you've overcome. And so you never really integrated the wins into your body and your mind and your identity, right? You had some wins. You did good in that relationship. You did good at that test. You did good at that business. You did good on that day. You made that sales call. You helped that person. But you did all these actions and you never changed the perception of yourself. You just held on to like, well, my identity is who I was as a child, or what my parents told me, or what these people told me. And it's been shaped by other people versus you giving yourself credit when you do things. And you've overcome a lot of obstacles. But you overcame them and you're just like, oh, well, what's the next obstacle? And you were reacting to go to the next one or chasing the next one, but you never integrated confidence. I mean, I've worked with major Olympians, major CEOs, super celebrities on covers of magazines, and guess what? These people sometimes lack confidence. Even though outwardly everyone goes, what, they've achieved so much. Yes, they achieved things. They overcame things. They helped people. And yet they never stopped and said, you know what? Let me tap that into my identity a little bit. Let me allow myself to feel that credit. Let me appreciate myself and how hard it was to overcome these things or even just to survive today.
My friend Evan Carmichael's book, listen, humans are built to serve. Some people are built to serve the world. Others want to serve the 25 people closest to them. But in either case, humans are built to serve. So if you're not happy right now, it's because you're not serving enough. You got to pick up this book because it's so inspiring to remind you that we're all here to contribute, to make a difference, to make an impact, and this is your field guide for that.
Rule number 5, share your truth.
Here's where you lack confidence in life. When you won't share your truth because you're worried what everyone else thinks. That's what high schoolers do. You don't do that anymore. You're too damn old. Now you share your truth with other people and realize most of them won't get it, won't understand why it's important, won't support you, won't care, or at least won't get in your way and say anything at all. But the less you speak your truth to other people, the more superficial your connections are with them. See, people often say, well, Brendon, people don't know me. Well, whose fault is that? Is it their fault they don't know you? Or have you actually provided consistent enough intel, congruently enough, over and over? They're like, I know that person. People in my life, they know me. They're like, that's Brendon. Because I say it, I speak it, I walk it, it's my truth. So that it's easier to connect with me because they understand me. And I think that's what's important for you too. Like, you got to speak your truth more often. Do the people around you really know what you want in life?
Rule number 6, realign with your intention.
Sometimes achievement is not the problem. Alignment is. Like, you all get a lot done, right? You're busy, you got to-do lists, you're knocking off checklists, but sometimes getting some things done, that's not the problem. It's alignment. You've got to realign with the truth of who you are. What does that mean? Well, first, you got to recognize where you're not living your authentic life right now. If you want to feel a greater connection with purpose right now, let's figure out what we got to stop doing. Well, we better stop trying to run an old model of what other people expected of us. We have to stop trying to live the life other people want us to live and reconnect with the truth of who we are. Realign with our intentions, our interests, our passions, our desires to create and serve. Listen, all purpose begins, the hunt for purpose begins with the realignment to personal truth. All purpose begins with the realignment to personal truth. Like dialing it back into who you really are. What it is that you want at this stage of your life. What are you interested in? What are you passionate about? What are you excited about? Noticing where you're living your life in obligation or reaction, right? Obligation because you think you have to fit somebody else's mold. Reaction because you're just always reacting to everybody else's emergency. And so suddenly your life isn't really your life. And so no wonder you don't feel purposeful. You'll never feel purposeful until you realign with your personal truths, the core of who you are, to notice what is authentic for you. Some of you are in relationships, you know that's not authentic to you. You know you're there out of obligation. You know you're there because you just kind of fell into it. But the truth of who you are is saying, please listen, this is not us. You know what? So many people are faking it. They're faking who they are. They're faking to create some perception of themselves, to position themselves a certain way. They're not living who they are, and they know they're lying. They don't dress how they want to dress. They don't speak how they want to speak. They can't find an authentic flow throughout the day because they're always trying to be somebody else or perform for somebody else versus doing who they are. If you want to connect to purpose, you've got to start doing who you are again. You've got to tap right back in and realign to your personal truths. Realign to the core of who you are. Listen to your soul again. If your soul is screaming for change, you got to change. Otherwise, you'll never feel purpose. You've got to reconnect to that part of you that's like, oh my gosh, this is me. Where have I been? I know where you've been. You've been caged by other people's expectations. You've been caged by false obligations, by thinking you have to be the savior of everybody, by thinking you have to do everything. You've been caged by doing work or things that's not even in alignment with your passions, but you're doing it for a paycheck.
Rule number 7, connect with the dream.
Often, when we really lose confidence, we've really lost sight of the future. You know, we're so trapped in today and doing things, and we're busy, and we've lacked that ability to really connect with the dream, to see it, to feel it, to touch it, and let the dream energize you, even if you don't feel good about yourself. There's days I don't feel good about myself, even today. I'm a human just like you. There's days I'm like, ugh, there's so much going on. I messed up this thing, and it's easy to do that. But if I detach from the future, I can guarantee my performance goes down. And I can guarantee my confidence goes down. See, part of confidence is you see yourself in the future in a good way. You see yourself in the future having good things, doing good things, feeling good things, making meaning, making a difference, having good relationships. So here's what I want to challenge you to do, if you would. I want you to, every morning that you wake up for the next 5 days, when you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, I want you to lay there and just visualize your life 10 years from now being great.
Rule number 8, take a break.
Break every hour. Take an 8-hour workday. High performers, they're not smarter than you. They're not better than you. They aren't more lucky than you. It's not their age, their nationality, but one of the things they did during an 8-hour workday, they took 8 more breaks than you did. They took 8 more breaks than you did today. That's why tomorrow, they show up more clear. That's why next week, when you're in the meeting and it's time to brainstorm and you're fried, you come up with nothing. It's that gal up on the whiteboard who wrote down 20 ideas because she's still fresh. That's not because her disposition. She's probably a high performer who took more breaks than you. We think breaking and pausing and refreshing is failure.
Sharpening, yeah.
It's I love that sharpening. I've never used that. I love that sharpening. It is sharpening. It is the NASCAR at the pit stop to make it go faster, to make it win the race.
Rule number 9, anticipate drama.
Sometimes, let's say you end up at the end of the day, and you had that big meeting earlier in the day, and it didn't go the way you thought it did, and you're really disappointed about how it turned out. And what happens often is disappointment is often a lack of having not anticipated enough things in advance. And so what ends up happening is you kind of roll in with all these high expectations, but you didn't anticipate the difficulties or the challenges that will come up, right? It turns out a lot of work that done by like Jim Collins and other organizational leaders have found out that leaders tend to anticipate drama in the sense that they're a little bit paranoid. They're not paranoid in a negative way or an obsessive way, but they're so thoughtful about what might go wrong that they're less disappointed later on. So, for example, if you're gonna go in that big important meeting of the day and you're really excited about this meeting, you're finally gonna be vulnerable and share your ideas and be excited about your new dream, your new idea, and you plan out everything you're gonna say, and you plan out how to do the close, and you think through everything and you practice everything. But then in the middle of that meeting, someone goes, well, I think that's a stupid idea. And you didn't anticipate that drama. You didn't anticipate that someone's going to doubt you, Someone is going to object. Someone's going to interrupt you. If you don't anticipate those things, they really throw you off and they rattle you so much so that later on, you're a hot mess about it. Like later on, you're like, oh my God, I didn't think that person was going to say this and they didn't that. Everything in life, if you're going to be a high performer, you might take a step back and say, what's going to trip me up about this? Many of you know that I do that every single morning in the shower. So the second question I ask in the shower is always, what might trip me up today or throw me off, and how would my highest self meet that? I ask that every single day.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is cultivate motivation.
Motivation is an emotion you learn to cultivate by using your mind, your body, your greater consciousness to ensure that you feel that pull of purpose, that you feel that energy inside that says, I want to create, I want to contribute, I want to be my best self, I want to connect with people. And so motivation is something we're going to have to generate on a consistent basis. I know many of you are at HPA and you hear me say, all the time, you have to learn to bring the joy, because the power plant doesn't have energy, it generates energy. Motivation is something the motivation guy, I have the best-selling book of the entire century with motivation in the title. It's called The Motivation Manifesto, if you haven't read it. And the Motivation Manifesto is like, if anything is imbued in that book, it is like this ferocity and this fierceness and this attention to living our best lives, but it has to be like generated. Because even though I'm the motivation guy, there's plenty of days I wake up and I'm like, blah. I don't feel like it. There's plenty of days, there's plenty of moments where just like you, I'm just like, I'd rather be lazy and do nothing right now. And that's okay. That's part of homeostasis. That's part of our human body to want to power down, to relax, to chill out. But too much of that can lead to an unfulfilling life. So we must learn to generate the emotions of drive, desire, go-gettedness, whatever you want to call motivation.
Now, I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and you get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of following through. That's not enough. But when you write down what time, what place, and how you're going to actually take action on it, you jump to 91% chance of following through. And when you have public accountability and you commit to other people that you're going to do it, it jumps to 95% that you will follow through. So I want that for you, Believe Nation. I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
Momentum develops the mindset. Momentum conditions the mind to confidence. Like just moving forward every day, even it's small things. If you just said, every day I'm going to do 3 things to move my life forward, and you just did those 3 things every single day. Today, I'm gonna do these 3 things to move my life forward. It could be sending an email, calling somebody, having that prospect meeting. It could be as simple as like, oh, okay, I'm gonna work towards this goal. I'm gonna finish this presentation. I'm gonna create this thing. Whatever it is for you, like do that thing. Maybe it's like, oh, today, I'm gonna work out today. Great, you worked out. Your mind goes, I said I was gonna work out, I worked out. I developed a little more confidence because you were congruent with your intentions. See, action is what makes us congruent with our intentions, right? That old thing you've heard me say, if you've been studying my work for a long time, intention without initiative is just sorry hopes. It really is. Intention without initiative is just sorry hope. You have to apply yourself again.
If you want 10 more amazing rules from Brendon Burchard, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Research study in psychology found out that both second person and third person makes you more, makes your self-talk more powerful. So if you're gonna do affirmations, you wouldn't just say, I wanna do this, I wanna do this. You wanna